All right, folks, welcome out to the Logger Room. It is Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. Jersey Johnny coming at you. And as always with me are RadioPete and Harry Lug Nutz. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
There you go.
We worked on that.
We did.
We had a writers meeting and we came up with that.
We
did.
We put a lot of time and a lot of effort into that.
It was the punchline that was the tough part.
Yes.
What is the punchline anyway?
Hi, guys.
It's
hi, guys.
Hi, guys. That's it. So we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about most of it on the podcast, but we'll talk about a little bit here. If anybody is out there listening, by all means, write in any questions you have. We will be certain to answer them. I'm sorry. You ask them. We'll answer them. If we ask the question, then we're playing Jeopardy, and we don't want to do that. So anyway, how was your weekend, guys? How was your football weekend?
Fantastic, other than the fact that the Giants are one step closer to not getting the first pick in the draft.
Yeah, they really screwed up.
Hey, screw the pooch on that one.
Well, if 1 point separates them from having Trevor Lawrence,
Well, you look at it this way: the only team over them that can get Trevor Lawrence at this point is the Jets, and Trevor Lawrence has already been told by many people not to enter the draft if the Jets have the first pick. So,
well, I'm not sure the Giants are a much better destination, but
no, probably not. But
they have a good running back, though.
They do, yeah,
and they have a better coaching staff.
Yeah, that's
like
it's like
although we don't know exactly who might be coaching the Jets next year. Probably not the same guy.
It's like saying I have chlamydia, not syphilis. Yeah.
I was trying to think of an analogy, but that one hits the nail.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Either way, stay away, basically.
Either way, it's awkward and itchy.
Right. Or, well, I guess
burning.
One I'll see in a couple of weeks and the other in a couple of months.
A couple months, exactly. 6-1. I'm going to take a sip of my beer here.
There we go. Let's see. This is the only podcast that compares venereal diseases to draft picks.
To draft picks.
Stick around for our top 10 venereal diseases.
Speaking of old balls.
Yes.
Speaking of...
If the player was a venereal disease, what venereal disease would he be?
Yes. Right.
What are the top 10 venereal diseases that the Jets have ever had?
Well, yeah.
Probably all of them is the answer.
And by venereal disease, you mean player, right?
Yeah. We could throw that in the mix, too.
All right.
Player and... Listen, we actually talk about sports on the podcast, too, folks.
We actually do.
That's why we get this kind of...
I'm just depressed because the New York football perfect season is over, and I was really hoping that both the Giants and Jets could go winless.
That would be pretty amazing, and kind of. I mean, it
would have been pretty amazing.
Would have been right. If I look back at like really kind of cool things that have happened in my life in the sports world, and I'm sure this is true of every generation, but there have been some pretty cool ones, but probably none more so than that, even though one of those teams is my team. And I think it's just, is it just the Lions that went 0-16? Certainly in the modern era.
The Browns have gone 0-16.
Have they?
Oh yeah, like a few
have
years
they?
ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When in the 40s or
no, like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Really?
Is that the team I'm thinking of?
No, the Lions went 0-16 too. Recently.
Oh, okay. So it's not like the Jets are only the second team.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
2 of the 4 teams that have never made it to the Super Bowl went 0-16 in the last 10, 15 years. So.
And potentially the third one.
Yeah.
The Jets. Yeah, okay. Well, that's something. But once again, put it on the bottom of the list.
I mean, all right, New York football. The Giants won barely, and the Jets didn't come close.
The Jets did not.
Oh, I mean, please, there was a lot of talk too. We'll talk about this more on the podcast, but Miami did name Tua. Pronounce his last name for me.
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa. He was promoted. They announced him. They announced him as the next starting quarterback. So basically, they benched Fitzmagic. And did you see the headlines yesterday? Mr. Warner was akening that to him and Eli back in 2004.
Really?
Yep. Yep. You know,
I don't really think either.
I'm not comparing Warner to Fitzmagic.
No, I don't think
And I'm
either the
not
guy that
comparing-
got benched, right, or the new guy
Eli
have
to
anything
Tua.
similar.
No.
There's nothing similar about either of those
just
pairs.
a veteran quarterback who was decent, at least decent, if not better, being benched for the future. Basically,
Yeah.
I guess that's really what it boils down to.
So he's going to compare that to the 739 times that's happened in NFL history.
Exactly.
And why are we listening to Kurt Warner?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like he's going to compare that. That didn't happen with. Well, actually, I was going to say it didn't happen with Joe Montana and Steve Young, because with Joe Montana and Steve Young, Leonard Marshall knocked Joe Montana into Kansas City, then Steve Young took over in the same game. So
yeah, Montana still threw for 2 touchdown passes in the second half, but it was a different game.
A totally different game.
Yeah.
And he kept running over to the sideline. Is it halftime yet, Coach?
Yeah, transitioning from
game ended an hour ago.
There's 4 minutes left.
Yeah, transitioning from Joe Montana to Steve Young is like when Mantle took over for DiMaggio. Right. I don't really think Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua are really going to fall into that category.
Now.
But
the jury's out on Tua, though. I mean, if
he can stay healthy,
you're probably right. But who knows? If he can stay healthy,
he's better than Daniel Jones
at the moment. and speaking of being better than Daniel Jones, we'll talk more about this in the podcast, but I remember you saying something last week about how Andy Dalton was the best quarterback in the NFC East.
Well, in New York, you mean? He's yeah.
Last week he was the best quarterback in the NFC East in New York.
Yeah. Well, he didn't look great, but he looked better than Daniel Jones.
True. No, it was the rest of the team that really sucked.
Yeah. The Dallas really took a big fat dump all over that game.
Dallas was basically they reverted to like 1988.
Well, Dallas was the one hope in the NFC East for a team that maybe could put together a winning season, and maybe that's the Eagles now. But I think when we look back on it, this might be the worst collective season one division has ever had.
Right. I can imagine it.
I mean, unfortunately, they have to play each other. So Washington and the Giants will probably split like they always do. But
the Washington will win when they play in Washington.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
And more on the game on Thursday night later in our picks section. Right now, we do have Beer Samurai, Dave, that was just on the beer podcast with me earlier. He's asking why aren't we all wearing beer shirts, because we wore jerseys on the beer cast?
That's a good question. I don't. What is a beer shirt?
It would be
because if it's a shirt that has beer stains on it, I'm there.
And you're there.
A shirt that has a beer logo, I don't know if I have any of those.
Right, so
any that fit.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Dave would say a shirt with a beer stain on it qualifies as a beer shirt.
Well, there you go. I would show it to you, but we might violate. We might violate a decency clause if I leave that shirt.
Yeah, unless Molson's going to pay me money, I'm not wearing a shirt with their name on it.
Anyway, all right. There was a lot of good stuff, folks. We got a lot of stuff coming up in the podcast too. You're gonna want to tune into that as soon as it's posted.
We got baseball.
We got baseball to talk about.
There's a game or something.
I mean, there must be a reason why I'm wearing a Dodgers jersey and cap.
Because you're trying to ruin the year of Tampa Bay.
I'm trying to ruin the year.
2020, such a strange year, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, but think about this though. No matter who wins the World Series, that city has 2 of the 4 major sports championships.
Yes.
Yeah. Who won the WNBA title?
I wasn't referring to that, but
the Piscataway Flyers.
Piscataway Flyers.
I thought that's what you meant.
Piscataway and 2 podcasts in a row.
The NBA, Major League Baseball, football, and the WNBA.
There you go. That's it. Right,
the big 4, right?
Which probably had a larger market share than the NHL. But yeah.
Exactly. And by the way, Dave just said he's better than Daniel Jones, even if he did drop 2 jalapenos. He recovered them.
Yes.
Yeah, those were some good-looking nachos. I was quite jealous when I saw them.
They were tasty nachos. I'm starving, but I will wait. because I'll make myself something decent. But I'm not going to make nachos, and apparently it is National Nacho Day. It's National Nacho Day.
International Nacho Day.
International Nacho Day.
It's funny. Yesterday was not my day either.
Yeah.
But we got baseball to talk about.
We got baseball to talk about. We have football. Plenty of football to talk about. We have our picks as usual. We have our old ball section.
By the way,
we have the top 10 New York Giants of all time.
That's right.
Top 10 New York Giants. We're going to start today, folks. We're going to start this week with our top 10 list. This week is the top 10 New York Giants of all time. And that's going to head into that's going to be combined with our old balls section tonight, but it's not going to be combined, but they're going to relate to each other. We're not going to tell you how. You're going to have to listen to the podcast to find out. So
suffice it to say, there are some old balls on that list.
There are some old balls on there's some very old balls on that list.
Pretty impressive old balls.
Very, very impressive old balls on that list. So anyway, folks, we're going to get over to the podcast now. We're going to record it. We want to make sure you pay attention to when it gets posted. And in doing so, you can just go over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, or Stitcher and subscribe to our podcast feed. This way, we'll never miss any of our podcasts. Once they post, you'll get them in your feed. Of course, you can also follow our Facebook page, our Instagram page, or our Twitter page, and they're all at The Logger Room. And, of course, our website is www.loggerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. Folks, follow us on any of those. Make sure you like all of our social media pages so you can be notified of when we're going live on Wednesday nights, which is usually right around 7 o'clock. And Eastern time, that is. Not so much for Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. It's earlier there by you, is it not?
Usually, yes.
Usually it's earlier.
Every third Wednesday, we're at the same time.
I gotcha. Depends on how your day has gone at that point.
Depends on how the Earth is rotated.
And the Earth is rotating, exactly. All right, folks.
And it is 2020, so you never know
anything.
What effect that will have on the time.
7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I mean, I don't know. It's what month is it? Who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna head over now. We're gonna do the audio, folks. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast feed so you can hear it. And there's a lot of good stuff to talk about tonight. So make sure you check it out. We'll talk to you soon, folks. Take care.
Peace.